little music. Yeah.
TVC, better than. Yo, this is what I'm representing for Radio Toco. Virtual Carnival, virtual Bacchanal. What I think, Radio Toco, party until the morning. Hey. Virtual Carnival, Radio Toco, causing Bacchanal, fetting until the evening. Lord, can't stop real son in this virtual Bacchanal. Just so life has changed. Things are not the same. Radio Toco not to be blamed. Hey. It's the new normal. Radio Toco for Carnival. Israel Bacchanal. Well, we done have a station on Radio Toco. I sit down in my house wasting dress for Carnival. I don't have a costume. I'm up in the joint room. Radio Toco right now is in the
Yes, so good night to each and everyone. Hey, it's all about the eBay show with Andre Williams. Andre, wait for it on mute.
Yeah, my microphone is off. Don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead. You're inside.
I am?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm seeing mute on my mic here. Anyways, a special good evening to all, each and every one actually, and welcome to the eBiz show here at Radio Toco 106. Of course, another Monday night, and we continue to discuss the happenings in the entertainment scene in Trinidad and Tobago. We've got with us this evening Gary Cardenas. We should be joined by Ruba de Victor a little later on. Ras Commander is supposed to be here as well. Dennis Cox will join us. We have on set already with us Joseph Adams and Hamidullah Wahid.
Pleasant evening to everyone. Pleasant evening to everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Yeah, good
evening. Good evening. Me,
gentlemen.
Hame.
Yes, my brother. Good evening. Happy New Year. And this also thank you. People like help to Badal. People like help to Badal.
Same to you, brother. Happy Valentine. Happy Valentine. Happy Valentine.
I see Afro with no Afro. And I see my neighbor Adams. Good evening and Happy New Year's and Happy Valentine to everybody. Give thanks.
Thank you. Andrew, again, plenty of dealer. Andrew?
Yeah, well, I guess good night. Well, I'm Selector Kirby, working alongside Caesars, Andre, frozen again. Yeah, well, that's service provider. Yeah.
Well, yes, realize what's wrong with Andre?
Yes, I realize. So, Gary, I don't know if you want to get that idea. Let me see if you'll come back and he's still frozen. Yeah, he's still frozen.
All right. So my two good friends here. Last week, the eBay show was on Kitchener. We were talking about Kitchener from beginning to almost end. We ended up trying to find what we could do for Kitchener because the greatest, well, I had asked the greatness of Kitchener, how could we really harness that? And well, we really ain't come up with no answer yet. Huh? We still have to wait on the powers that be. Because they're supposed to be controlling the money anyway. But this evening, the reason why both of you are here is because you have a close, well, only from the south first of all. And you all were close to another calypso icon in Rashoti, Garfield Blackman. So I guess that's why Andre invited you all. So you could just give us a little touch on Shorty in the beginning. I like to take it from the beginning if all you know me, the little historic thing, and then we come up to 2000 running pass. So I don't know if Hammy, you want to start? We talking about Shorty.
Yeah, I can take your part. It's some kind of clouded really. I can you clear to allow me to respond appropriately for the Andre to play it up. Try me again now. I was in kind of crowd.
I hear you perfect.
Yeah, but from my end,
we talking about Shorty.
All right. Well, you asked me who was watching Shorty. I wasn't watching Shorty.
Yeah, let me at the beginning. From the beginning.
No, you have to forgive me because I was saying you playing up, but I tried.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, you talk about Rashoti. That's
it? Yeah.
Well, Rashoti to me, it was as he called himself a musical scientist, very innovative, very creative, and at the same time, I would also want that was very willing to share, at least on my end, whatever it have to make you as a young artist coming into the business to be of better value to the art form. That's why I can only say about Shorty. My personal reaction with it. You hear me clean up there?
Yeah, you coming through real nice, you know.
No, getting you good Afro man. Nice.
You coming through real nice. I
get
find
better now.
Yeah, I find you coming through real nice. I have no problem with you.
All right, now,
Joseph. Well, I seen Andre. Andre, you wanna start? You wanna? Andre, like he's a freezer boy. Andre, like he's a freezer boy.
I'm hearing you all. You all go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, Joe.
Oi.
Give me a little piece from the beginning.
Oi.
And then we get a serious
Give me a little piece from the beginning.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Kabi, we get a serious delay.
Yeah, well, yeah, all right, yeah.
You're going to June, all right?
Yeah. Kabi, we get a delay.
Yeah. You all hear me?
You're going to June, all right?
Yeah, Joe, we are in here. You go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
You all hear me? Yeah. Well, my interaction with Ras Shorty. Well, it would be in the Ras Shorty days. Ras Shorty. Because I didn't know Shorty personally from the Lord Shorty days. I would have met the man Ras Shorty and I can remember, as a matter of fact, I can remember one time, he invited me to Piparo to do some voice training and all that kind of thing. And we became very close in the Ras Shorty days. Because I remember doing a couple events with him and the band with the children. And in them days, children were small, they were young. And that's how I met the Shorty and the Love Circle. I used to have cars renting. Shorty used to rent cars from me at the time. I remember clearly. And we shared that closeness. As a matter of fact, when he got sick and he was in the hospital or the nursing home, I remember going, and look for him, and he asked me to bring a couple stuff for him. I think his contribution was so well appreciated, at least and for sure by me, because I would have learned something. As a matter of fact, in the later days, he ended up writing a song for me I didn't cater for that. That's the name of the song. And it was so well received in the tent. And I still remember that I still had a song as a part of my repertoire today. Yeah, so those are the things I could say, of him as a Short. Yeah, I can't go back as far as Shorty because I just know Lord Shorty. Yeah.
How far back you could go?
Well, I could probably go not right back at the beginning, but I remember clearly from Fat Pan's Fathers. Remember that song? Fat Pan's Father and it's the Ten Commandments, 12 Commandments, and that in the days when he and people like Peter Bush and Crepso was ruling the roost, and even Durango and President them was very taken care of. I'm saying that because I hasn't always been in a Kaiso, as a little fellow, I remember listening to the Vegetation Radio on the wall, and my ear zeroing on Calypso, if only because of the environment which I come from. So I would have been identified early enough with Shorty, not in a personal way, but with his music.
Musically?
Yeah, musically, yeah.
Andre, are we here now? Andre.
Like Andre freeze up or drop asleep. Yeah, Andre wake up now.
Andre that freeze up, boy.
Yeah, like freeze, yeah.
Yeah, Andre not freeze up. But historically, I think he started in 62, if I'm not mistaken. A song called Long Mango. I'm not too sure if it had much of an impact, but the next year is when he came with what we had in 63.
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger, Kick-Off Shot, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That is what Kick-Off Shot in 63. Yeah, and after that it was no turning back. But but while doing the Calypso, Shorty was also doing the Shotney thing because in 66, I think it is. Yeah, he is 66. He has a song called
All Them Indian Singers.
Indian Singers.
Yeah.
All them Indian that is long before Sona Popo, not so?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's long before Sona Popo. So the Suka chutney we're talking about really come from Shorty I too.
Yeah.
Which is a part of the history we don't talk about. We don't talk about them and the chutney soca. We talk about the soca and the jamu.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't talk about our chutney soca, which, I mean, if it's in 66, I didn't think so now, and I was hitting no hardcore chutney kind of music yet. And if you listen to Indian singers,
big too. That song was big thing too during that period.
Yeah. If you listen to Indian singers, you'll also realize that they have a piece of foreign music in it. As the chorus, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Andre find that song yet for me to listen to, but somewhere to me, I think there's a little piece of foreign music in it. And that is how he started blending with Indian singers coming right up. Well, we know what happened after that when he started mixing all the Indian instruments with soca. That's in the 70s again. Everything was done.
That before
Well, yeah, that is before Umsham because Umsham was in the 70s.
As a matter of fact, he also did a song for Wanderer, for Matthew.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that was one of our bigger hits.
Yeah.
He was dabbling in the chutney thing long before soca, when he added the instrument to our soca, our calypso.
Definitely.
Before what he called soca. And somewhere along the line, as I said, we just don't talk about that part, the chutney part. I'm glad Hamidullah could just come off the back foot and talk about Indian singers. Because when I was talking Indian singers, a couple of weeks ago, nobody seemed to know what I was talking about.
But I could sing it for you too. All them Indian singers going for higher. Day by day, they getting better. I grew up on them kind of music. I was telling you. I couldn't show you since then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing a guitar while that two other fellas playing the Indian instrument, the harmonium and something
Yeah.
else. But is that part of the history we don't talk about? I don't know why.
So you
I
see,
don't know if you
because
don't know it.
no, that I guess that's what happened. If you don't know something, you
You
forget it.
might know it.
We tend to it come
Yeah.
like you're talking about African history and starting the slave trade. And that's how equated with Shorty. We seem to forget that. Songs like Fat Pan's father, we talk about them fellas and them who had a daughter home and she's a prized possession and he walking about to sell she. You remember that song? Them was big songs for
Mm-hmm.
Shorty. You understand?
Yeah.
But
So
we
you
just
know,
start with
Very,
it.
you see the
Sorry.
thing
yeah.
about it, Shorty always used to experiment with music, looking for different beats. And that was one of the attributes to the man. He always experimenting. And I don't think we give him enough credit, especially as we talking the chutney soca thing here now. You know, we don't give him enough credit for what he has created. Yeah.
Sure.
Which is I wouldn't say everything you were saying about Kitchener. We never really give Kitchener credit for half the things he did. You know, we used to watch at Kitchener as I would march man and my mom used to make songs for Pan. I don't think Kitchener ever used to make songs for Pan. He used to make songs that sound good on Pan.
I agree with you. Well said.
And I agree with you all as well because when you listen, and I mean, are we talking a short, yeah, but if you touch on Kitch, really and truly, when you listen to the repertoire of Kitchener, I mean, you have every single thing, not just a pan. You have humor, you have what we call a little bit of smart, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that. You have
And he
everything,
always talk about Kitchener
social,
smart.
social commentary, everything's Kitchener had, but sometimes we are so creative. People tend to put us in a corner, not understanding that. I wanna call one particular name in the mix to highlight my point. Trinidad Rio. We put
Oh
him down
yes.
as a humorous calypsonian. Listen to the works and you realize he's not just about humor. He might come over humorous in some instances, but he's just not humor. And that is the same thing
Plenty
with
social
Kitchener.
commentary. Plenty social
Exactly.
commentary.
Right. So, we just corner our artists too much. I
Yeah.
remember when I just started to sing, people started saying, "I'm the messenger, man, come and sing big message song." But really and truly, I don't want to be cornered in in any space.
And I was looking at you and saying he's a bad party man. Eh? I tried to say a joke. Say Joe like party nice. Eh? Yeah, it's just fun. We just pigeonhole you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're an entertainer. That's what the story is. You're an
exactly.
entertainer.
That's
But
right.
people are we have when you tell people, boy, I'm an entertainer, they say, but you are Kaisun and you see the entertainer. But really, actually, the truth about entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Amidula, when you sing about the cocktail land, people see that as some kind of thing, but they don't understand. And then you yourself started to sing different type of songs to show that you're versatile
That's
in
right. Well said, Joe.
other music.
Well said.
Yeah,
Well said. Even though I was
that's what
struggling,
we have to do.
even though I was struggling with that, people seem to feel like I could only sing you, but I'm struggling with that right now. Yeah, you're right. They
Yeah, 'cause
pigeonhole you.
I can tell you because I know where we came from. So even though I might be able to talk, even Gary, even though I might be able to talk on all the history about Shorty or Shorty, I could
Yeah.
talk on some of the history of Hamidullah,
Well, I mean, cannot be that student that shot you anyway, so that's how it's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
You
Um,
understand?
we, we, Hammy, you call him an innovator, right? And well, the chutney, the soca, and even in a couple of his songs, he had cadence and Creole because he
Yeah.
spent, I think, a little time in one of them islands. If I don't be Dominica or one of them. And he had a song called
Yeah.
UPG or
Jamaica.
something like that.
You may hear that
When you
one?
listen to that, that's totally different to what what we were accustomed to back then. Right? And then again, he added two different types of genre into the soca, just leaving him quite out there. Believe you me, he was quite out there. Yes, he used to work with Maestro. He and Maestro used to work together. Um, if unless all people can help me, because at the time, I think they fell out.
Well,
And
Calypso,
Maestro
you
and
know
his
that. That you make is understatement you're making there to say that they fell out. It's almost natural that creative people would, at some point in time, find themselves having disagreement. You
yeah,
understand? So
and
that is,
Maestro in his way.
yeah, yeah,
So while Shorty I was cranking up one place, Maestro was cranking another. So when you listen to what Maestro did do, that was
yeah,
straight soca too, but without the Indian instruments.
yeah. You had more
Because
soul.
Maestro didn't use the Indian instruments,
You had more soul
but
in it.
his music. Well, yeah, the solar calypso, eh? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that was supposed to be the solar calypso.
Yeah, that's when
yeah.
Shorty started calling it Soul of Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Inland Vibration album with Ella and Della and Mickey Gibson and then that was the trendsetter of it. But Ella and Della came out in that period too.
Sweet music, yeah,
Endless Vibration album. Yeah, sweet
and
music.
sweet
Yeah,
music as well, right?
yeah.
That was 75.
I don't
And
even
that
know the year,
vibration
but
was about 75.
yeah,
Somewhere around
yeah.
there. Are not as good as are not as good with the years as some people, but it's somewhere around
I myself,
75.
I give a
And
wrong
I
year.
mean, don't get up with me, I right, so I just take notes of everything. Don't get up with me,
I, could-
So when I'm
I could
saying it,
talk
I
to
know I
you.
have it written down.
I
It's
could
written
talk up
down
3 years.
somewhere.
I can't talk years. Only 3 years.
Carry
I'm
the
saying that.
instrument.
Yeah. I ain't sure what beats on
When
them.
it comes
I
to
still
them,
get no damn
when it
birthday
comes to them
sometime.
thing,
I'm sure
I
what beats.
depend only for them thing. Them years talk. Depend on you guys for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have one more person joining, commenting, and I'm gonna bring in. I ain't seeing his name, but here he is on screen right now.
Who
Yeah, good
that?
night.
Like,
Identify
like,
yourself.
like Dennis, Lasana
That is
Cox,
Mr.
right?
Dennis
Yeah,
Lasana
Ah,
Cox, right?
identify yourself.
yeah. Dennis Lasana Cox.
Yes, man.
I see like
Welcome.
Andre, you have an esteemed panel of aficionados, but you're exposed to the iPhone.
Good night,
Abel Cabinet,
Dennis.
Joseph Adam, Abel Lula. Good.
Happy New Year, happy
Thank you for that, my
Valentine's, Dennis.
soda. Esteem.
The
I like the
powerhouse.
word esteem.
And I think Rastamanda somewhere hiding in behind somewhere in the mix.
No, he always hide it. He always like to hide.
Yeah, well, you have the vice chairman in front, so delegation.
I laugh, and yes, only making me laugh tonight.
So what's up?
Yeah, man.
So what's up, Sri Lanka Tobago? What's up?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we did everything normal. Trying to get some history going. I know you
Yeah.
come
here
in
in
and
Toco,
do a lot of history for me.
here in Toco, we talking our short, yeah. Well, Garfield Blackman first.
Yeah.
Garfield Blackman was short, yeah, after.
Yeah, well,
So we were
if I could
just
join,
going on
if
when
I
we
could join
did
the
then our
conversation,
history. We want you to
sorry.
add to the history.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because let me take it from Garfield Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
As a youth growing up and thing, I was Garfield Blackman, Lord Shorty was one of my mom's favorite artists. Sparrow Short. Joseph, I have no point for them people.
Okay, that freeze there, fellas, boy.
Can we get a fees on that one too?
Yeah, like he get a freeze there, I see come back there. God, boy.
This
But
is
No
fellas,
freezing. My internet.
Yeah, your internet. So
Is my
we
internet
had
in
to
trouble?
deal with some of the service providers, boy. The service providers killing everybody. Sure.
these days kind of cool, you know. It's only
Yeah,
freezing to complain.
I don't talk to them. I don't talk to them.
God. I want to get my sweater just now.
Well, let me wheel back from where. Huh? Let me wheel back there. Garfield Blackman. We're looking at Lord Shorty at the time. Where he wears all in one suit. The ladies love her. The ladies love him.
They love man.
Garfield Blackman fan at the time. You understand? Where he wears when he all in one suit. Caleb Sparrow. The ladies love her. The ladies love him. And when Shorty hit that stage,
They love man.
Total Garfield Blackman. At that time, that was the ideal superstar. You know, he carried all the charisma as Michael Jackson and Calypso. You know, this a superstar image. When Shorty hit that stage, showtime. You know, and when Shorty youth and I looking at Shorty and looking at the transition from Calypso. That when he did the what we call smart in the match we are final, he carried all the charisma, the Calypso, the atom making love with the song image. When Shorty hit that stage, tonight looking at Shorty and the transition from in the match we are final, when they say Dr. Put them plug the the atom right, and going through that journey with Lord Shorty. Right, and Shorty at the time, when he introduced his soca, right? I grew up around in Point Fonte. I grew up in around Indian community, African Indian community. Where we shared rhythms, in terms of the feast and the celebration, religious celebration. You have the dantal, I learned the dulak and the dantal because people will come and chant the different Indian religious ceremony. They do the beat, the tassa, the dantal, And when Shorty introduced that, I had a problem in trying because I used to play calypso, I used to play in a steel band in the rhythm section. And I couldn't get a soca beat at all. So I said, Shorty is something else. Because the timing, I was out of timing in terms of getting the soca beat. And I used to be percussion. I was one of the baddest percussionists at the time in terms of iron dumbbells and, I couldn't get a beat because it was unique and original. But I understood the dantal, the dulak, and the East Indian instrument, which when Shorty created a soca, I actually hearing those instruments prominent into the calypso music, and I really appreciated that. And as I said, this is the way to go because it's a unity music. It unites. It was uniting the African and the Indians in the community, which is the dominant reception, to show that we really are an independent nation. We get away from the classics, European classics, and we have created a new vibration for Trinidad and Tobago, that is representative of Trinidad and Tobago. And I was blown away by the soca music, especially the bass line. The bass line in the soca music, which represent the kaiso, and the percussion with the dulak and the tassa beats. That was really interesting music. And of course, Cecil Hume was part of that whole vibration there. In terms of the maestro effect and the show effect, which is an effect penetrating the music calypso arena. Because they both came from Princeton, and they were bringing a new vibration to the music. And we moved from Lord Shorty in the show, I really had the pleasure of doing a show in PFC, Point for the College. That feature of the show was a high feature because at those days he was singing barefooted and he was pushing the gospel. He was moving from soca into
Soca to
jamu because
Jamu.
the mash up the
Yeah.
what do you call it? The soca was no longer sacred, right? So he was trying
Yeah.
to bring back the soca and what it was
That's
supposed to be. The
that's
soca
when he
was to
started
set
doing
the world
jamu. That's when he started doing
looking for
jamu.
a partner reboot.
That was in 1984. In 1984, he started that jam thing.
He went to
When
prepare
he
a
get fed
reboot
up
with
about them
his
fellas was singing. He get kind of
So
fed up about the fellas was singing. So
so I think the jamu was what, jam music?
well, yeah, it's gospel, you know. So
Yeah, jam music.
here we go. Jamu, straight
my
gospel,
internet cable or
gospel soca. Who only? The host.
Andrew, well, he's trying to get
Yeah.
back in. Trying to,
You, oh, are they
yeah.
still out?
Yeah, Andrew's still out. Andrew's still out. Yeah, relics. Shoot, good. I know. I don't know. Somebody
Harry, I
beat him
feel
with
it's
some
your
kind of
public,
thing.
Huh?
Wherever they beat Andrew with, they beat him real good, but
That to up Abdullah and
Oh, boy. Oh, you're
I,
telling them, boy.
Gary, I don't blame only for that
Well,
fatigue thing because all
cause
the
the
start
way
that
when
last weekend.
the lineup here,
Yeah.
some this
This looking like only better come Central and lose this show, yes, right?
But
Yeah,
something other, I feel something I had to given her. I don't know.
Because this,
Like,
I don't get no
get
problems.
bad.
I don't have no problems.
Joseph Adams in the injury
Right.
room, Jay.
Well, oh, Joe, but we have two frees. Oh, God.
Who freeze it?
That's how you come back,
Too
you
much
know, you're
power, boy.
freezing.
This panel is too powerful. Waves.
Yeah. The powers that be fighting. The powers that be fighting.
No, I just thought short you get right for it, no? You get right for it.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Who's still right? Still frozen. Alright, right.
Harry,
Fellas,
Harry,
yeah, I think I talked to him.
not Krabi, Hammy Dula.
Hami
Yeah,
disappear. No, Hami disappear.
I mean disappear.
Yeah.
Joseph,
Yes.
continue
Joseph
your little story. Continue. You pick
Yeah,
up short guy.
Joseph
You
here.
pick up short guy in Jamu.
I used to I was talking about the jamu thing, but if we go back to the shorty, as Dennis was mentioning there, one of the amazing things is to see how he used to dress. His dress code. I could remember seeing Shorty with the jumper suit all in
The yellow
one,
jumpsuit. The yellow one.
tight with the clogs. You know, the long time we used to wear this the shoes with the big heel. What you call it, clogs, Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Platform.
that was
We used to call it
that was like a
platform, yeah.
platform. That was like a trademark for us for Shorty I for Shorty, not Shorty I, the Lord Shorty. That was like a
Yeah.
trademark. So from the time sometime he by his Royal Castle corner used to line there, and you know what you must make him out.
You
And
can't
that to
miss
me
him.
that was you can't miss him at all. That was one of the trademarks that I used to admire with that gentleman. You know, so when I did link up with him when he was Ras Shorty Eye, it was two different people really. To me now it was two different people because the big tall structure by Royal Castle and the structure coming to me in all the religious garbs and bare feet, and it was a whole different person.
Yeah.
But by that time I understood exactly what he was going through, the transition he was making. Yeah.
By
So
that time,
I understood exactly what he was going through, the transition he was making. Yeah. So I think when Andre come in, is the feedback that starts on Andre. You call him this feedback. As soon as Andre comes, start again. Andre, start again.
Why are you all? Why no no? But you see, seriously, here what's happening. Seriously, concentrate on continuing the conversation, though, because we dealing with a technical matter.
Nice. Yeah. So what I was saying is, even when I went up to Piparo the first time, and I understood the whole situation, and I could have feel the difference in the atmosphere, because now he has a elder in the business telling you about voice training and you know what exercise to use to throw the voice. And it wasn't strange. I did the exercise, and I was really, because I remember I was doing a song by um Kenny Phillips, and I had challenges reaching a certain pitch, and after going by Ras Shorty Eye and coming and do the exercise, running in the morning up the stretch, come back, and people were looking at me like if I'm going crazy, because it's a certain exercise you tell me to use. Sometimes I'm in my backyard and I do that, and people passing and they watching me like I'm going mad. But that was the result of you
I'm
know
back inside then.
yeah. So that is
Hello?
some of the good experiences I had with the man Ras Shorty Eye, and the
Hello?
memories I had of Shorty,
Hello?
Lord Shorty.
Yeah, we see them.
You're in
How
trouble,
many
man.
we see them?
Yeah, I'm outside just now, only. I'm back inside now, right? You hear me?
Yeah, we here now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Raskamana trying to get in, but I mean, get in.
Lasana, you there? Sana, go on. Andre
But
Williams.
System game trouble, man.
Like somebody eating a wound.
Lasana.
Um, Andre, Gary, I don't know. I'm thinking, fellas,
So, you want to take a 5?
I studying to talk to Andre and see if we probably push it next week, because I don't understand why we are getting all these licks tonight. I never had so much licks before. Somebody eating, or
You find it song, so?
may I hear like a plate scraping?
I hear
But you know what?
the
Real
same thing.
skipping that plate. Because I was already here. The real skipping that plate, they're eating.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They
I'm
scrape the
missing,
plate, scraping, and they're eating. They don't eat.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
missing Dennis. Dennis going to eat and scraping up late hard, boy.
But yeah, then it's disappear on me there.
Yeah. The system game trouble, man.
Yeah, plenty trouble tonight.
Harry,
Hey,
bring me in when the change now from Soka to Jamu.
from Soka to Jammu.
Yeah.
Well, when he
What
went to
was
the
the
Soka,
wisdom? What was the wisdom behind that?
well, I think somebody explained earlier that he didn't like what was happening with the Soka. And remember, he make us somewhat Latin singers and all kind of thing. All
Latin
that, all that,
singers.
yeah, all that kind of thing. That I think that would have been interfering with him in terms of trying to sanitize the music. Yeah, he went to Jammu. And so also part he would transition from a different way of life because as Dennis pointed out, now Shorty was a superstar boy kind of well, the ladies man that kind of thing, you know. In that area they Shorty was like the lion, you know. Lion was a fella had the kind of flair like Shorty had, you know. Where the women would await him to come in the show and he was a star boy that kind of thing. Shorty had that same kind of thing. But I think as he get older and thing, he begin to reason different sense of value then and the change in life. You understand? And that's why he went through that kind of spiritual aspect of the thing. And Jammu was born out of that.
I think that's the explanation I got too. You know,
Yeah.
he wanted to change the music because he was ashamed of what he created. So he didn't know, honestly, he didn't like the direction it was
Where was
going,
going, yeah,
right? Or the direction it went.
yeah,
And you know, I could relate to that to a great extent, you know, because I always feel that the music you have to, or the lyrics in the music don't have to always tell you, you know, that or lead to vulgarity and that kind of thing. So he
yeah,
didn't like that way. So he decided he wanted to take or recreate something that he could have feel good about. And that's where he went to Jammu.
yeah,
And the idea, one of the things that I admired is that he had his entire family, you know, following in that vein. Because all his, I can't say all, but the majority of his children are musicians, singers, etc. Because remember, he had the whole band, the Love Circle. Yeah, so he directed the path that he wanted his family to go, and I think that was a very noble
They're all
thing.
musicians. They're all musicians.
Yeah.
Um, my story in Ichijo had to do with his life, changing his lifestyle. And that came, oh boy, what year was that? Somewhere around 79, if I'm not mistaken. He had invested most of his money in an album. I think that one of the latest he had done. I'm too sure which one. Or somebody could correct me when it comes to the albums. And it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. House was mortgage and thing going through.
right,
He was in Canada. He was in Canada. This was happening while he was in Canada.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I can remember, he was in Canada.
Yeah.
He had serious
Um,
financial problems then. Yeah,
things just wasn't happening with him.
yeah,
And from the horse's mouth, I will tell you, he was about to commit suicide. He was going to jump in front of a train in Canada. I think it's in Canada, he said. And this is where the Lord appeared to him and tell him, young boy, what you doing? Go back home. Put your family together. And that's where we find Piparo came in with the entire family, which Joseph Adam just talked about. That is where that happened. Was a transition of not music, but more life,
social life, yeah,
family
yeah,
life. That is what transition. When they went Piparo, because they leave the house, what part of Sando he was living? They leave the house wherever he was in Sando and headed to Piparo. And well, it was to do away with this world, because he thought his children they didn't go to school after that. I remember going to Piparo. Isaac had to stand up on carry box to play the congas, and that's how long ago I talking about. That is when the change. That is when the change came. The entire family was in Piparo. He started over. It was a literal start over. Not only the music, but his family, his lifestyle. The whole family knows They know me well. As I say, I used to be in Preparo. I remember my car sticking in the mud up there and short. Yeah, any long white. The whole family had to come and push out the car and thing. But we just look back at that and laugh now because that was part of the process. And the music was really nice. Jamu music is a really nice music, you know, because it's a music coming from your heart more than anything else. It don't make up lyrics thing. And all you Calypsonians will know when a song come to you,
Yeah,
it is writing in 5 minutes. When a song I
yeah,
come to you, it is going to take days, not so?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, yeah, music used to come from the heart. It used to come to him. One time in Piparo, Christmas time, we went to look for a song. No, sorry, we didn't go look for no song. Sorry. We went a line, we went to look for short, yeah. And we was talking about Leon Caldero. And Leon Caldero could tell about the song that short, yeah, he would frame. That song came in 5 minutes when we were there. What was the Parang song? My name is Leon Caldero from Caldero with my
Oh,
Macacho. Remember that? That
yeah, that
short, yeah, you would that thing in 5 to 10 minutes.
Uh,
5 to 10 minutes because we were talking about Leon Caldero and that's how that came up. I got shorty hit out of the blue. But the transition was nice. And what is nice about it, all the children remain in it. Well, except for the granddaughter who straight soca, but there's always pull back one of her grandfather's songs
yeah,
to remind her, hey, this is what soca, S-O-K-A-H. She didn't talk about it like S-O-K-A-H. She knows it's S-O-C-A.
that's all
She has
remember it.
maintained that. One good thing,
Yeah.
she maintained the S-O-K-A-H in the music. The more soca, that's how she spelled it. You know, so Shorty I went through various stages, about 4 different stages in the music. And each stage was a hit. And when I say a hit, it was a mark that he left on the industry in Trinidad and Tobago that we really don't care about. We just only talk about the soca. Jam music is Christ music. Somebody said jam music, and it's really Christ music. And one of his daughters, Avian, and her husband, Mark Moore, has a group called Christafari. They're making serious music in America. Avian Blackmore is part of Christafari, and the kind of music they're making, which is what we call a jamu, she maintained that, and it's hits after hit every single year. They were here a couple of years ago. They performed for us a couple of years ago, but again, there's another part of the thing we don't talk about because I feel it's because Shorty I go on 22 years just like Kitchener. And when his children are around, Sheldon making music, Isaac making music. Remember to the ceiling? I shot Sheldon to go don't know how big to the ceiling was. Because we remained in Trinidad and Tobago with to the ceiling. Isaac Blackman was performing in Africa. In Africa. To 70,000 people with that song. And we didn't even know. I only found this out recently. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but it's only last month, 2 months ago, I went up Piparo again to the studio. And Isaac was telling me, he said, he cannot take this Trinidad and Tobago mentality because we just only come, we're singing next year.
Yeah, way.
We're singing next year. So he couldn't get over coming from Africa singing to 70,000 people. And as a land in Trinidad, somebody asked him, so we're singing next year. He couldn't, to him, that was a real shock, culture shock. We ain't seen that. And we stay in that mood. We're singing next year. How many we're singing next year?
No,
You
but
have
you
a good
see,
song this year. You have whole.
well, thank you. But I want to respond to that. While I hear what Isaac Blackman and a whole sort of to say, it's important we understand our culture. Our culture is unique. You understand? We have a culture whereby to be a Calypsonian, historically, you had to be somebody who write and sing your music. That has changed. In the American culture, nobody don't care about who, and they didn't care about the writer, no one care more about the singer. So that when we made that kind of comparison, I think is unfair to our culture. We put in our culture in a sub position. However, I understand the need for moving away and evolving into another level, right? But the whole question of season, right? But the whole question of is something that almost innate with us. It's something that almost innate with again our feedback day. But it's from way back because, for instance, when you go back to the Guru and then the Gael, 10,000 Army One, all that is the foundation of Calypso. And it would have come historically with the personal liberation. We coming in tongue with a new song to lick them down. And Kaiso stay in that mode. What has to happen now is we have to take it out of that mode. So in other words, we had to really superimpose on our culture as against trying to disrespect and waste our culture because we are unique, we are different. You hear me there?
I want to add to this.
You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. I hope you hear me.
I just want to say one or two things on that. Sometimes we just stick in a zone that could be detrimental to us, and we have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, but still, it's our culture. That's
so you could analyze it. You could analyze it, however, but sometimes we just have to move away from what we are accustomed to if we realize that we're working.
I agree with that, Joseph.
And at this stage in the life, I feel it has some things that are not working.
I agree with Joseph. All I'm trying to do is put a historical perspective.
And I understand that.
As we go forward. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because let me say something again. There's a book by Sierra J called Beyond the Boundary. If you was to read that, you would appreciate how strong cricket is to us as a people in terms of the value system. There are young people now getting out to West Indies team and don't have a sense of history. And so the whole question about the proudness and the powers that we have and the passion for cricket, they don't have it. They have IPL now, which is a transition, 20 overs, all this in the dollars. If you understand what I'm saying there. I just understand what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing at all.
I get you.
But that history is important. We understand that as we go forward. That's the point I'm making there, friends.
All right. Hence the reason why Rashoti is so important, because he tried to change things that he felt wasn't going a particular way.
Right. Remember he said change the musical structure, make it super sweeter. And endless vibration. You have it right there. You start saying that. Because look at this again too. Social commentary. People feel it a daba daba, a daba 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 daba. That might have been more pronounced in the Chongras era. Before that period, they would line and began and then first and then they was a netty, give me the thing, fire brigade, them a jam. You understand?
Lego. We used to call that Lego.
You understand? And now the average with Chongras now and the intellectualizing, pardon my expression, I'm trying to get the word right. Intellectualizing of the Kaiso. You have people like the Chongras at the level now. As a matter of fact, Joe, when you go to competition now, they talk about depth of team and development of topic. Where you going with that? Bob Marley, 3 Little Birds. It hardly get past 2 verses. I hear you.
But I mean, I'm not beating my own drum, but I start cutting down songs from 4 and 5 verses to 3 verses.
But if you get 4 from me, you're lucky. It's 3 and I got it. Yes, as a matter of fact, there's a bump to Uncle me. And the first place I learned that Afro-man is I was doing a show somewhere outside there. And when I walk, before I go on stage, the man tell me, Hamidullah, listen to me, when you go out there, you don't get to know Uncle, eh? You'll see your song go your way. So, you see, I deal with culture again. We have cultures here. As a matter of fact, Martino and them, open shift in the talk, I deal with culture, how we do the thing. With Martino and them, have people in the aisles checking every night to see if you get encore. If you won't get an encore, you're not worthy being on the program. You understand? I'm saying all this to make you understand. While I understand the transition, and they need to go forward because I agree. Michael Jackson is making an album for every 5 years or every 10 years. We every ever got new song. What the hell is that? But I'm saying historically, that's the only thing evolved. I want to make my point, and I ain't disagree with you at all if you don't like what I said.
No, that was always our problem. Every thing is always our problem, you know.
Yeah.
And in terms of social commentary, still plenty in Calypso and Soca, because remember Super Blue was social commentary still.
Oh
with all the
yes,
soca.
yes,
We used to be jumping and leaving the social commentary.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, man.
Who on the
Andre?
beside the tree colors?
Yes,
Andre?
yes, good evening. Good evening. It's 9 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago and the Eastern Caribbean. Don't know. You hear me here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Andrew talk.
Okay. Yeah, I've been following the conversation. Very interesting. The whole idea of social commentary. I think everything, whether it be flat-footed or on your toes or on your heels, you know, calypsos. Everyone has a particular space and place. I don't know what you all think about that. I mean, even now in 2022, you're seeing a lot of the young soca artists and, or generally, as a matter of fact, a lot of people putting a lot more stories inside of their pieces. I mean, there's this song called "Hole." I don't know. I think one of those guys who was on with us did it.
I mean, that one take it away from me. You ain't calling your name, boy. I mean, I'm not calling him. You just say, hold
I
it,
don't
boy.
know nobody. What I'm saying is that
That because he in a hole. That's why I say that.
come on, we working out the technicalities. Come on, all the technical difficulties. You don't batch all the equipment on your radio. I learned that very early. So
I hear you.
we blame the zombie in the studio or whoever.
You
You
don't
know.
go on the rubber band and that's
Like I said, I was really enjoying the trend where Hami was going back in time and looking at what happened. But I still believe, and I train it out for your opinion. You know, we everything has its place. I mean, I agree as well on the dirge type songs. You know, you could probably cut it down to three verses, most definitely.
You can have more than 3 verses, but sing 3. When you get encore, you sing the 4th one and the 5th one.
What is something?
But
I mean, I remember doing that, just that in when I performed at Spectacular. I have no 4th verse, but I ain't going to sing all 4 verses one time. That kind of way. So you sing the 3. You make sure that you hook me the encore, and you come back and do your 4th verse. That kind of way.
Yeah, but
what the problem is, one of the problems, right? When we doing, and Andre, you will know that because you work in radio. When you're doing recordings,
long time Calypso used to play a DJ on the radio used to play a whole Calypso, and we used to enjoy that. But now time is so important to the radio or whatever media. A man want to play a song more than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes I remember when I did Manuva board. Manuva what is about 8 or 9 minutes long. And they used to play that whole song. But now you can't get the radio station. So that is one of the reasons why some of the stations not playing a whole Calypso or they're playing Calypso because it's long. So sometimes we just have to get get to the program and decide if I really want something, and they still ain't playing the calypso anyhow. So along calypso, 4 verses of calypso is basically for a tenth. Even in the tenth now, because of the length of the program, you can't. I mean, singing 4 verses, 5 verses in a calypso 10 now, it kind of is not so practical anymore, because sometimes the length I see certain tents have a cast of all kind of 20 people sometimes. So when you go to a tent and you finish in tent all kind of 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, it ain't really making sense. And we had to be looking at program. Program is the important thing. The programming, you have to be looking at that. So one will ask himself, is it necessary to make a calypso with 4 verses? And sometimes the verses so long, when one verse is as long as almost the whole calypso, and you're doing for that.
But Joseph, let me just make a point here. In the early days, like some of those recorded songs, let's say from Lion, Attila, and those guys, those songs on average was about 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. The Chogras era ushering these book side calypso. We're like writing a book. You understand? No, but that's just a make a point. I mean, no Chogras at all.
I mean, stick a pin right there.
Okay.
That is one of the qualities about you that I really admire long time. I just had to tell you that, because you call a spade, and that is important. Because we need to take a glance back and see what we could do to improve the art form. You understand? Find a lot of youngsters doing more stories in the song, like I said. But we need, and we're talking now from the standpoint of Toco, for them to seriously examine their product, because I don't know if Joseph remember when I was down at South Zone, we started describing the thing as a product. You understand? We had a little session after the how may I call it, after the um the auditions and so on, and those who went forward, who came forward to be part of the cast, went through some exercises in terms of fixing the song in some cases, because you as a tent manager, as a organization, need to make sure that you put your very best out, so that people would want more and they would come back and patronize you.
I mean, I don't
I
mean
agree with that.
I agree with that. I don't mean to cut in too much, but I just saying that, and you were saying that, and I'm studying with this whole thing where we're doing everything virtual. I think we have really gone past. We need to get past the point in the industry of just singing for entertainment's sake and singing that a product could be packaged and streamed. Because I mean, whereas you used to sit down in Calypso Fiesta and you spend whole day stand up watching it. Nobody's going to sit down in front of their computer 12 hours a day, 12 hours per day to watch a Calypso competition.
Well, you see, Lloyd, I have to disagree with you.
From my standpoint as
I,
as
I
a younger
understand.
person.
I understand, but what I'm saying, I have to disagree with you with that.
You sure you want to disagree with him, huh?
Yeah, I want to disagree with him because I remember going to the cinema. In them, there's showing serial, right? And sit down 2 or 3 hours to watch a particular film.
Right.
And I don't see, the average show now is about 2 hours or 2 hours and a half. And I don't see why we can't package it so I could sit down in front of my monitor and watch it for that period. The problem we have, however, to my mind, is that our attention span is very much more challenged. We don't have that kind of patience and things like we had before. If you come out
Hammy,
of this,
you hit the nail on the head there, Hammy.
but that's the life, you know. You understand what I'm saying? I express my life and I see that. In the days of W. Longfellow and Shakespeare and them, where I put my hand on my chest and my diaphragm and like what a story at you. We was about language then, so you were paying more attention. These days the exam is shade. Long time you get 2 and 2 is 4. You have to produce a working column. You can't that again. 2 and 2 is 4. End of story. So the attention span is not what it used to be.
And I would agree with that aspect of it, attention span. So what are we going to do now in the industry that will encourage or to cater for your attention? Because movie cinemas, you talk about cinemas, movies to be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I grew up in an era where I used to go and watch 2 movies for $7.
Yeah. What's the
Now
time?
you're paying $20 plus.
Yeah, but what the time you say
What
down for? That's what I'm saying. The time of the
so
movie.
the movies them long time was still 2 hours. So I would go in a cinema 2 o'clock in the day and come back out 7 o'clock in the night. It used to be 2 movies back to back. And I'm
Right,
talking about I grew up in the 80s, 90s. I
right.
mean,
But and the average show now is 2.5 hours. That's the point. You
right,
understand? But what happened now? The items in the show is where you have to alter. That's what I'm talking about. You understand?
right.
Instead of
And
giving four long verses like it's a book you're writing, you need to alter that to probably 3 little birds, 2 verses, and you're gone.
that is what I'm speaking about adjusting,
Yes,
adjusting
the
to
items
suit,
in the product. Yeah.
to
But
suit.
Yes,
Harry,
yes, yes, brother.
the book you talk about,
Yeah.
you don't feel like to impress the judges?
No, well, I don't want to be misunderstood after with no Chong just at all because he's the
No, no, no,
icon.
no, no, no. I know you're wasting out Chogdas.
No,
You're wasting out.
I'm making a point. What
But
has
the
happened is,
the 4 and 5 verses, you don't think
yes,
that's to impress the judges in a competition?
yes, because we have intellectualized the college.
Well,
So, when, no,
well,
listen,
isn't
man.
the competition part
No,
of the problem then?
no, just, no, let's make this point first. Kaiso before was what you would have called renegade music, rude boy music, music where nobody can identify. That is why you could have called all the Kaiso on one hand, you know. 10 Kaiser because
Mm.
Kaiser was about the wretched of the earth, the people who more or less the society called misfits. Them was collapse. Even so, the life has spoiled and them person them. They weren't socially organized as you and myself. If you understand what I'm saying, then right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what has happened now? Kaiser has become more intellectualized and more sanitized. So a lot of people who was founded on Kaiser, like Steel Band, find themselves now into the art and they come with the intellectualization now and the language. You know, talk about language. I kill him dead. They tell me my grammar wrong. My grammar gonna be wrong when historically that's where it evolved out of. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't kill him alive.
Yeah. But that's my language. That's the color of my language. That's the make I so. You understand?
Yeah.
They come now and again, I'm not trying to disrespect them because we need them also. They're part of the society. But the point I'm making is that since they come in now, they intellectualize it to the extent of when you talk about development of team, I hear you, and grammar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come
Mm-hmm.
on. You know, so they take it to that level. So you have this horse and a book now to impress the judges with the intellectual thoughts. Imagine some people judging Kaiso who do go there, they listen jazz and everything at the six of Kaiso. But when Kaiso time comes, they go for a fellow who have 3 and 4 passes and who have a degree behind it to judge my Kaiso. It's like Shadow say, they bring people with degrees of stupidity to judge me. And Shadow was right. All you forgive me,
But,
very
but
twice.
for a lot of things in present country, I believe that is what happening.
Let me make one more point. Let me get an example. I happens to be fortunately or unfortunately sitting at the Carnival Review Committee of Toco. And so we analyzing the judges' work and that kind of thing. And you know what I discover? The judges have all these sorry statements. Nice song, nice diction, development of team, and everything else too. And when he's done, he gives you a mark about 5 out of 10. How that measure?
So Hami, let me ask a quick question. Let me ask a quick question. So, what is the remedy, and what you think is the cause as well?
And like I say, it's the intellectualization of the art form. That's the point I'm making. You
Uh-huh.
understand? You carry to a university level You understand? When I say university level, to the extent like people like myself and Joseph Adam, for instance, you take a Brigo Calypso and a Chogos Calypso, and this is the standard that the language and the Calypso that people are talking about. Squanta, the Indian girl tie she short and she belly. Chogos will say the Indian
Right.
girl tie her shirt on her belly.
No, that is very much like related doing impersonations of Dean Martin and
Yeah,
other
yes,
choral people, Billy
yes,
Eckstein
yeah, yeah.
doing
Oh,
doing
right,
calypso,
right, right, right.
where
That's
they
the point.
will sing proper English,
Yes,
which
yes.
does not fit um, calypso or
No,
even
Calypso
soca.
not about that.
no.
Calypso didn't born out of that, you know.
No, I said about that. Because just from the roots of the people, the people
Yeah.
who at a matter of fact, the slaves who are now grappling to speak English, coming from the mother language. That is why you would find it composers chuku, 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 yapping, yapping. What he was mimicking is how the African people would have been expressing themselves. Baby yapping, you want to
Right.
you understand? That's because we were struggling now to get a hand of this language.
You think is some people trying to run away from who they are?
I think they don't know better. But they want to know better. They don't know better.
Was that? Was that?
They,
Yeah,
they, don't, know, they don't know better. No, they don't know better. You see, a lot of we out here, the worst job you're getting right now to me is with yourself. And your African
yeah,
people every day trying to deny that there's Africans. While they call
right.
everybody else by the ethnic origin. But when they come to me and you call me a Negro, as a Creole, I say, what is that? How is that? How is that
Yeah.
Indian? How is that
Where
Chinese?
Negro land is or Creole land anyway.
You understand? So I think that they don't know better. I ain't saying they run from the side. They just don't know better. Because whenever
They
they
just
go and
don't
they
know
be
better.
faced with it, yes, the first time I come to face with alienation is when I travel. When I
Right.
travel and I reach a place like New York and I started like an alien and I come face with the people
Right.
who are making me feel uncomfortable. I never experienced that here. You
Right.
understand?
But
So the
but
point
but
I'm sorry.
Gary Toco is very much in the news these days. So fellas are going there.
Yeah.
Toco is very much in the news these
But wait,
days.
Adams, I can take all this by myself from Adams. Adams gone on. Adam, I take
Where
all that.
Adam the
Don't try
truth.
that.
I was wondering
Honey,
that he and Joseph at all.
Don't
You
try
know,
that,
honey ain't
Adams.
I
taking
mean,
nothing, you know.
since, but I mean, the thing about you is that you're capable of answering the questions. You understand? I know. I saw you. You on. You're performing at the Tuco North Zone opening a couple
Yeah,
nights ago.
yeah,
Your
Commercial?
fedora and
yeah,
well decked off and so on.
yeah,
But talking about Taste the Carnival and the stance of Tuco, tonight was supposed to be the extempo
Extended.
preliminary.
mm,
And well, we know the reason why it has been cancelled.
yeah,
The budget for the Taste of Carnival started off overall at 30 million, was
yeah,
chopped in half. Um, and well, the present acting president, I should say, of Tuco decided that that is is insufficient. And his argument was about the fact that, and I heard that point quite clear in what he said in a news report, that if you cut the prize money this year, it might be setting a precedent. So tell me about that first point. You figured that because the 30 million was cut in half, right? So they had to come down, right? You think that if and when, that's not maybe next year, but maybe 2024, when we're back in person carnival, do you think that might be the case? Right?
that
So I want
that
to
that
answer that for me, Hami.
no, that is a template being set. That's the point you're making with respect to if we were
But
to take it at where it is right now, there's going to be a template set going forward. That's what you're saying.
no, what I'm saying is that was the argument from, and I don't think I'm misquoting him, from the president, the acting president of Tuco, where he was saying that, okay, if 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 we allow these prize monies, if it's normally like 100,000 or a million or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can't get that this year inside of a period that is the new normal, you know, if let's say we go down to 60,000 next year or 100,000, you know,
Yeah.
as a first prize,
Yeah.
that you know they would want to make the powers that be. He seems to be suggesting by saying that the powers might want to keep the prize money in their zone, and that is the crux of his whole argument about the prize structure of the competition. And I don't know. I disagree with him. So I just wanted your opinion.
Oh, well, I would want to support his position because I feel that way too, that if they was to allow this, the precedent is being set. And that's how we is, you know. You do it, and you take it, already take it last year, we're making noise about this year. That's how we are,
No,
precedent being set.
but
And,
can we not? Well, I continue. What I'm saying is that
yeah,
in circumstances, all of these things, all the factors involved in this Taster Carnival,
yeah,
from a cut of 30 million to 15 million,
yeah.
you, you, you know, how, what kind of, I try to find the word, what kind of thinking goes into to go that, to take that stretch, to think that, okay, someone would want to maintain a certain price structure and whatever. I don't think at this point is that is an important thing. Thing is, if I was in his position, I would make sure that we agree with the other board members because you're part of NCC
Yeah.
that okay fine we would work with what we have at this point, but we are not going to, if when things we turn to full carnival, that we're not going to continue that. Then the other point on the chairman of the NCC was saying that other organizations, the SIGs, went out and they got sponsorship, you know. So I'm sorry that Ainsley wasn't here to answer this, but you don't have to do. What is going on there? Because again, I think we had about 2 years to plan, and what happened? What Toco, what have they done in that period? You know, since the pandemic started, and they should have been sitting on a plan there, waiting for whatever form carnival comes in, be it virtual, be it safe zone as it is, or in full. Your take?
I can respond to you now.
Sure.
Yeah. The first thing is that, in my mind, Calypso has become so politicized. It's a very frightening way to look at it, really. And it is a determining factor in how
Qualify that word politicized.
politicized in terms of the party dynamics.
Mhm.
Politics is a way of life, so you can't get from politics. But it's now you
Yeah,
have UNC.
definitely.
You know, hear me, I'm going more direct here. I'm going to your juggler now. You have UNC Calypsonian
Right.
and you have PNM Calypsonian.
What's that?
You have UNC Calypsonian and you have PNM Calypsonian.
Well,
Which just now,
the former in a less kind of way. Anyway.
yeah, in an earlier period, it wasn't like that. In the colonial period, was we against them, we against the colonial masters. So we were singing as we feel for liberation and liberty and all that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And the post-colonial period now, where we come, we have party politics now, right? And particularly after 1995, when the East Indian come out to the fore now and has whole political power, the thing split down the middle. You understand? So what's happening now?
That's true. Just to say half and half.
Half and half. So what is happening now? The
Right.
Calypsonians and them watching over the shoulder what they're singing and how they're singing. And let me give an example. I'll go both at you now. What's going on right now? And you can be beat me for this, but it's my conviction. I believe this. Had the PNM not been in power and UNC was in power, we the Calypsonians would have been mashing up town. We would have been marching. we'd have been demonstrating. I hear you. But no,
People,
where it is there right
people are
now,
marching still.
no, we'd have mash up tongue. They make a joke. We'd have run people out of tongue. We were like, we getting on bad. We were cussing all them people and them. But
I don't.
no, well, that's
I
my
don't.
position. You don't have to
I
agree.
don't because
You don't have to agree
anyway.
with that. You don't have to agree with that. My position. We more passive
No.
now.
Okay.
We more passive now. That because we party in power, like it or not, that is to my mind is the
Who is-
reality of the situation.
Who is we?
Well, the perception is that the African party is the PNM and the UNC is
And that's,
the one.
and that's a big wrong perception that
Well,
because I look a particular way, I vote a particular way. You understand?
no,
Yes,
but I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because people hear me making it just now, just
because
now.
the pool of people who are neither red or yellow is much larger than the red and yellow groups.
Yeah, but
You know, and
Andre,
it's only when that only when those people who are floating voters, right?
Andre, I come to
Go
answer.
in either direction is when either party will tip
Well,
the
I
scale.
hear you, but I am saying the perception is so bold that people like me making this point I'm making here right now is going to be perceived as a UNC. That's
No,
how
no,
bold it
no,
is.
no, no, no. I would never.
Not
I
you. I
don't
ain't say
judge it
you.
as
I never say
listen,
you.
listen.
Afro-man,
No, guys,
Save me now, Afro-man.
I'm not in. Not. I don't have the time to judge this one as this or that. We're all Trinbagonians, and the red, white, and black are the only colors that I see,
All right.
and the
But
only
that's
colors that
you.
we should see: red,
Thankfully, we
white,
have
and black,
you.
because
But
we
I
should.
come, I
As
come
an
to
example.
answer. I come to answer. Let me answer now. Now, with respect to the question, I go all the way to come here now to share that that the template. No, you see, because you see, you had to put it in perspective. You know, it don't happen just so. There was a time when the Calypsonian man was independent of all this situation you come before him right now. No, he would have put on his show and determine how he wanted to sing. You know, because he was not being financed by the state. Since the
But
state get involved,
honey, but listen, and this is what I was talking about. You had 2 years, right? You had 2 years to sit down and plan properly, right? And and also send your feelers out for sponsors to put on your show. But you can't be sitting down for 2 years. You understand? And wanting to 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 demand more money. You understand what I'm saying? When you saw what happened, I think that's the most unreasonable position. And
just,
and the other thing
Andre,
too
and
is that
Andre,
that's all.
Andre, I can't allow you to go with that because I
Why is
remember in
that?
1986, you see the culture when people could work 2 hours and get paid for the whole day. That had come embedded in our psyche, our culture, where people, calypsonians, no longer had to go and look to get the dollars. We depend on the state. It becomes a culture, you understand? And the state in itself, you understand, had bring about that. You understand?
Well,
So,
I listen. You have no pushback for me with that one because I think you might remember Gary as well. In 1995, I think it would have been the Pandey administration would have given the special interest groups. Gary, you could strengthen this. You know, more autonomy in terms of being able to manage your affairs. What has happened to that since that time to now is a different story. Gary,
well, let me
I
answer
don't
this
know.
part before Gary come in. They give you that with a slide. After 3 years, you will win over the state coffers. That was supposed to happen. When they lose power, the thing continue politically. You understand? You remember Robertson get shot in the foot and then they kill him because he tried to bring a different culture. I mean, come on, you must understand that. You understand? So the culture is one. Everybody watch me now, man. I hear a man boasting. I see him outside the hockey there, and here a young fella boasting to his brothers and them, by the work boy. and telling him, you can make me walk, boy. And he had people around him glorifying him. He's a hero. You understand? A Panama is to show me how soft his hand is. He hand soft like baby bum bum because he don't work hard, boy. That fella is part of the organization. He is part of Toco. He's in Toco. And so that when you do a show, we in South Zone, you should know that too. And where Adam's gone. When we put on a show, we just tell the artist and hello, sell at 10 tickets, sell 15 tickets. Collection cost you. Ask Dennis about that. In North Zone, I tell them they run me. Ask Dennis about that.
They run we.
Yeah, I tell them they cost me. They say I have no respect at the different guys. So then, and why show them? Listen to me. You sell 10 calypso, 10 tickets, sell 10 tickets. You understand? And guarantee me an audience and guarantee me my bar go sell the gear something. Ask Dennis.
Exactly. Yeah.
They run me.
Full endorsement on that one.
So I'm saying the culture of it with my hand full and sit down. The very man you're talking about, he's a member of Toco. You understand? So all he concerned about 20 bang on the shoulder and as a matter of fact, let me get this one. I go down a meeting Toco and I simply ask them, how about this subvention? And thinking that people could support me, they ball me down. I mean, we're not talking about, you know why? Because man come to sign check. I don't know how much they get paid or what this thing is. I hear you.
All right. Let me put it back.
Let me hear you.
Let me put it back. I mean, I'm glad to see Lasana. We can let him talk a little bit too.
Yes,
Lasana.
Lasana.
Get on my computer and I'm looking good now.
Well, I see you have one big headphones. I mean, you know what you're doing.
Well, I'm following instructions. So
Let me get Lasana.
Yeah, well, when I came in Toco, right?
Yeah.
I came in Toco.
Let me just interrupt you. I wanted you to address the same question of the money argument. For what I'm losing that kind of loosely. Just in terms of the present acting president talking about precedents will be set if they are allowed to go with smaller prize money this year. What?
All right.
Tell me.
Right.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, Andrew. Thanks for inviting me in this discussion. Firstly, Toco sits on the NCC board, and from what my understanding, is Toco sat on the NCC board over the period from July to present. And to sit on the NCC board when the NCC came, and you sit and you decide we're having a taste of carnival. That is an NCC decision. That was a Toco decision. And if you're doing that, there must be a financial implication. How much money we getting with? You can't sit in an official meeting and talking about guesstimate. Even if you have a guesstimate, you cannot make a pronouncement that we're going into a carnival, a taste of carnival, with no budget. Because there's a process. When you're doing budgeting and the Minister of Finance has to allocate, there's a line item for NCC. We allocate 100 million. Well, it's normally 150 million. That's the last figure I was familiar with. To run carnival or to run NCC, including carnival and the other carnivals, And you sit there and you decide we're going out to launch carnival without a pronouncement from the Ministry of Finance that, hey, this is the figure, or cabinet, this is the figure we're going. You cannot do things as vice and vap. You have to be moving professional. We are a body, somebody had to ask the question, so how much we getting? And if you say, okay, the price, because from my understanding, the price structure in Toco is like this. Roughly 3.2 million for the Monarch, about $605,000 for the extempo, and the junior Monarch is financed by we got sponsorship from FCB. I could call it right, and they more or less take care of the entire junior monarch situation.
Competition, yeah.
So we're looking at about, we're looking at was 3.6 million, 3.7 million that Toco need for the price structure. So, you're starting like that. The tents, we normally get at 2.5 million to run the tents. Right? So if we talk about a mini carnival, look at the dollars we're looking at to run the tents, the Toco tents. And of course, Toco normally give a contribution to the other tents like the Aloes and the Croco and the other sub-zonal tents as they call it. Right? So these are the figures we're looking at. So you cannot go in, I should do the budget. You cannot go into an environment where you sit on a table for the last 6 months. And when, and you make a pronouncement, that way we shake and then we agree, let's make a pronouncement to the public, we having carnival. And that pronouncement was made in January. Right? If you make that pronouncement in January, all infrastructure to be in place. Which of course here I must compliment Gypsy for putting the physical infrastructure, because if that wasn't in place, then you're making sense. So whether you had the authority to do it, but you had to do that. You have to get the physical infrastructure in place, because it will take about 2 months to get everything in place if you want to have carnival. Right? From a practical perspective, yes. But from a Toco perspective, you cannot know we talk about price money here. When you make an announcement and you set out the registration and people come with the Calypso, who had to buy water, whatever, and you come with the Calypso, ready for the Monarch, right? Within a month, first of all, give me a month, because I was writing 2 Calypso for 2 individuals, and the sort of creativity I wanted to put in the Calypso, I couldn't complete them 2 songs with that kind of intensity. So I had to water it down slightly and give them something to jam with. Because when you're creative, you start to come. Yeah, you have to give them a taste. So I water it down and give a taste. That one song there, 2 lines and rhyme, and I said, well, let run, because the music will cover that. At the mighty Juke used to say, the song alike, I think that the word you use is song alike.
Yeah, song alike.
So instead of rhyme, I get 2 song along and it run there, And, it cheapens the creativity of the thing, right? So in perspective, okay, I told you the budget now. Now you're talking that you have to know that if you slice in the Monarch, it had to be 3.2 million, you had to cut it by half or whatever. The extempo, you had to cut that by half or whatever. And that's the figure you had to start with and get a buy-in from the Calypsonian. Because if I was Monarch in 2020 and I get $1 million, and I was Monarch in 2022 and I get $100,000 or $200,000, you cheapen the status of the monarchy. I remember we went and we fight Pandey, Mr. Pandey, let me be proper. Prime Minister Pandey, right? When they decide, no, sorry, it wasn't Pandey. My apologies. It was the PP government. Pandey wasn't part of that. Right? We had to fight on the March morning.
Yeah.
Because they moved from 2 million the previous year and they're giving us 500,000 the new year. The Monarch get 2 million last year. Now you're telling me 500,000. Shortney Monarch used to get 200,000 and then they get 2 million too. So now Shortney Monarch stay at 1 million and the Calypso Monarch was given me 500,000 because that is all allocated, 500,000. And we said, no, you can't cheapen the art form by bringing Kaiso right down at the bottom of the scale. And that was a lot of things because a state enterprise decided to help you in that. The media was asking, well, again, the extra $500,000 from, and all that sort of thing went down. But we took a position and that, we suffered down the road, but we paid him. Right? So that you don't interfere with that price structure, your product. You don't interfere with the product price. Right? You don't ask Toyota to drop the price of the Toyota to $100. You can get Toyota for $5,000. No, a Mercedes Benz. Your price structure has to do with your imaging. In the business world, price has to do with the imaging. Nike, you can't sell a Nike like a drag slippers. It's different. Imaging for us, the package image, the brand name, the branding, they don't interfere with that branding. And we went into the thing as with Kaisuni and them fellas don't understand marketing and business thing. But Chuck does have a PhD, Some fellas in the fraternity who are educated, you know. In other words, when I say educated, understand the business world, you know. So though blindfold people and feel Kaisonian and Panman and Massman, them for the jokers, but them just come to wine and jump and grind and take a rum, okay, or smoke a thing, and they're good. No, 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 no. You have to show respect, right? Your precious art form, you have to give them respect. And I feeling that this everything was done in a very Viking kind of manner because then again you go to the state. Does the state really respect sport and culture, brother? This is real. This is real.
Yeah. The answer
Sports
is no.
and culture is a way out for the dispossessed youths of this country to make a living, to survive. Sports and culture that divert energies from criminality, right? And you could talk to the psychologists and then fellas, they go tell you that. When you divert resources from sports and culture and you leave the youth and them to roam and rampage out there, I mean, you know that under Classic Rousseau, we used to facilitate guys and mold them and bring them, you know, the Kaiso save them fellas from criminality. And they're proud doing the proud of climbing a stage and present themselves in, you know.
Revealer,
So this is what I can do.
We take Revealer to say it for themselves. Yeah. Thank Dennis. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and you know,
No,
and
no,
I'm seeing it.
we will always say that, eh? We will always admit that, eh?
Yeah. He only, you know, he was very proud of that. He was very proud of that until his demise. But the point is, sports and culture. I mean, I reach the age where I'm not fighting up at this thing again. But sports and culture are way out for the youth. I feel if I had a little 200,000 a month, I finance a set of groups to play football and basketball and you know,
but
and keep
Dennis,
them active.
let me interrupt to make one point, Dennis. That is the value you're putting on this taste of carnival. That people like Andrew and them feel that it shouldn't be because too much of money. You understand? The value where if you don't do that right now, you got to build more madhouse and more jail. If people can't get exercise, that energy.
Yeah, but I hear, but that two sided of the story, two sided of the story.
Always two sides
it
of the
must
story.
be done in a structured way.
I mean, that's not Gary and
Yeah. Well, let me round up with you.
All right, Dennis. Again, I just need to
people like Andre and Damon. What are you doing that?
I think back where I say that.
Now, a family must have rambling, you know. You must have disagreement.
Sarah,
yeah, guys.
You put a real perspective on the whole topic about the dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is clear that Toco went into that and they didn't know what they want. They didn't have a budget. If they had a budget, they'd have worked with a budget, right?
And Gary, let me just say something here. And that's the point I was making. You had 2 whole years. 2 whole years.
No, Andrew, I'm not too sure about the 2 whole years thing. The 2 whole years, we didn't know we would have a taste of carnival.
No. Let me tell you something.
We didn't know we would have a taste of carnival. Forget the 2 whole years.
Yes, they can't get away that to Dennis. Dennis, they can't get away that to
medium period there. What were they doing? Okay, fine. We didn't have Carnival 2021, right? We know we were 2021 because the last Carnival was 2020, right? So I am certain that people would say, okay, fine. This hold up for a little while. Right thinking people would definitely get in a zone and start to plan even. Because they have time to plan. And I'm not only talking about Toco, I'm talking about all the organizations in Trinidad and Tobago that involved in Carnival. And then, two, the whole country got an opportunity to reboot, and we have not taken the opportunity. And that's the thing. Because, look, and we had a road to recovery. Right.
That part.
What
2 years?
Because let me tell you something. We have a chance. We have a chance now to look at reducing the amount of traffic heading north on a morning that disgustingly destroying production in this country. You understand? When you have to spend 2 hours in traffic, how much production you could get from a person? So work from home, staggered working hours, all those kind of things. We had an opportunity to fix, and nobody will fix that. All they're talking about this, that, the other, and thing that ain't making sense. So that's the point. Tuco
Andre,
and all the other special interest groups
Andre,
just
there
sit
are
down and
technocrats.
plan
There are
inside.
technocrats who handle them kind of thing. Technocrats. They
What,
just pay them
what
fellas
that is
big
that guy
money.
in here?
They just pay them fellas big money to do what you're talking about. It like technocrats. Understand? That's the
Oh,
word they
come on,
use for them.
don't make no excuses.
No, Andre, it's technocrats just do that. Is that technocrat will tell you, don't make so much as people drive down here today and make so much drive up tomorrow. That they have the. This is not what we're talking about, Andre. What we're
Yeah,
talking about
Yeah, yeah,
is a
Gary,
taste of
yeah, Gary,
Gary,
it's not
carnival.
man getting paid for that.
but I mean in a
Uh-huh.
good kind of way.
Andre, I don't support Gary and that. That man getting
Of
big money
course,
to tell the government that.
exactly.
Well,
Andre,
let's
we're talking about
uh,
Andre, we missed the 2 years. The 2 years you're talking about, that's history, no, we missed that.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
that gone,
history.
that gone, that
That
gone.
gone.
and
Now we're
Right?
talking about
that's
the
a
taste of
starting point.
carnival.
Yeah,
Listen to the taste of carnival.
let me
Let's
focus
see,
on the taste of carnival.
No. You see,
that's what
all
we
of that
do.
is connected.
That's what we
And
need
that's
to
what they're
discuss
trying to do.
now.
They separate this from that, but it's connected.
Not
It's
Andre,
connected. If
not
if
even
we if
not even the
and
government was prepared for a taste of carnival. We're talking about they didn't know how much money they
what
was gonna
them
spend.
do, I talking about them too.
They
Is
didn't know how much
everybody in
money they
this
was
one
gonna
point
spend.
million. You
Yeah,
understand?
Now,
Everybody does miss opportunity here.
yeah, but
This
but
is
we
just
talk
part of
that
the story.
Andre,
yeah,
Trinidad and Tobago is the land of missed opportunities. We know
you
that.
know, but
We are
Gary,
the land of missed
Gary,
opportunities.
let me bring a point here as we say in there. In 2020, yeah, the government declared when this boy did the concert of Second Star, in 2020 or 21, 2020 he did it?
2020.
2020.
Right. You know the health restriction, right? They remove the restriction and say Queens Hall, Napa, and this place could accommodate a 50% capacity. When I heard that, I said, great, because Queens Hall only 700 people maximum capacity. The Kaiso tent, Kaiso house, which I was a part of, right? A good night, we might get 300 people,
So
sorry.
all good. Yeah.
300, right?
All good.
A good night, right? The opening night and judges night. But on average, we get about a 200. So if we book Queen's Hall, it was adequate, giving me 50% capacity to run the tent every single day in Queen's Hall, or one of those areas that don't allow the capacity.
Yeah.
The only Second Star jump forward and the thing, and they rough him up a little bit, but that was the template.
Because
Everybody
before people stand up and dance. They didn't want people stand up and dance.
Exactly. I went to Bungee concert too. I think it was the Friday, and it was beautiful. I feel really I exhaled, and I said, "Look at that!
Nice
There's an
one,
opportunity to maximize or to take advantage of the restriction, the limitation on the restriction, and to create a product." To face it, to use MAPA, all the places that the government say you could perform in.
Product.
Nobody take it. Nobody take it. They say, no, let me wait for government. And nobody took the initiative to jump forward. You see what happening to the promoters now? January, the gate open in January, and a lot of you go see Carnival Friday, you go wonder where to go. Because the opportunity and they they start running at it. It's not the ideal situation, but you see an opportunity and you mind your own business. If my business is so I'm making sure I get that space there. Right? I normally do a launch and I was going to do my launch and I said, nice, see me boy, let me just do like everybody else and rock back and get out of that kind of madness. But really it was an opportunity for organizations, okay, who could take the risk to go there and manipulate take advantage of the opportunity. Second Star went and he alone out there, but he had a shake guy and hug up Gary and show, that it wasn't breaking the law and all kind of thing. But the man wasn't breaking the law. There's a lawyer to do a 50% capacity. And no interest group there, no pan, nobody decide, listen, let me see if we could get a small audience. I was so glad when Bonji did the concert and I give them the support. I pay my money and go there to support. You understand? Because it was an opportunity for me to excel, an opportunity to support the culture, opportunity for the artists to make a change.
People listen, we can do things.
And make the world, and they're streaming it too. Right? So what was so cumbersome, because I hear people talk about streaming and I hear certain people in NCC talk about streaming and and they couldn't understand the concept. The other jumping and technology, if you don't know, find out.
There we go.
Take advantage of everything.
Jurassic Park, man.
Yeah, because I mean, I in the same age group with them, but I dealing with the youths, and the youth telling me how it happen.
That's the thing.
Yeah. That age group at Second Star, them boy, that is the age group I leaning with. If you have to stay in the entertainment business, you have to be listening.
Right.
Who you think in the market? Them youths in the market, and them giving you ideas, and you have to take that and run with it. I saw my nephew, he gone on the religious side, and he just didn't do his thing because he is a man, a promoter, a big promoter in point. I'm talking to him still, but he decided, nah, he out of it and thing. Yeah, but I'm glad he stays spiritual. Yeah, nah, but I don't interfere in that space though. Anytime you're going too spiritual, I don't interfere in that. Leave it there. So I think this was in terms of planning, you don't plan, take a 1 month of plan. To do a fete, your promotion needs 6 weeks. You need 6 weeks to promote your fete, your party, your show. At least 6 weeks.
We just take a year to plan carnival.
Exactly.
From the time Ash Wednesday reach, we start planning for the next one. How
When
you
we
could
do
tell me?
Fiesta in June, we look into the beginning and we book in Fiesta in June. June in the previous year.
We start to plan Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday is really when they're supposed to start the planning process.
Ask Dean Akin and them. Ask Dean Akin and them what time they start the plan.
But
I only want to know why this was successful.
If people cheapen the product, you have your product and they're cheapening it, then you can't blame nobody else. You have to know what you have, your product, boy, Kaiser's your product.
But what I'm saying is that since you say, well, is usually a 3 point how much million, and obviously a scaled down carnival, it will definitely be a lot of cuts. You understand? And then of course you have and I made the point too that you made that the Toco is a representative, a board member of the Carnival National Carnival Commission. So you have to be conscious. You have to be aware
responsibility.
Responsibility.
You can't sit on the board getting a stipend and staying quiet and think they know. If you're dissent, you have to make it known. You can't just stay quiet there. And when things go bad, then they said, I was not made them. No. That's why I'm sticking to Toco. If I am Toco, I'm going down with you because I take collective responsibility.
The other question is, Dennis, and Hamidullah, will you answer this one? All right. What about the ordinary Toco member? What is their take on the stance of the acting president?
Well, again, diverse. Toco is always two sides.
Let us drink a little water. Let me come here. Drink a little water. Let me thank you for
Let me
thank you for your representation. Well done.
Skip up, please.
I go take this one. The ordinary member doesn't seem to understand that he or she have a responsibility to ensure that the people who they elect bring for them what they want for themselves. You want more than that?
Okay.
You want more than that?
I think
not necessarily, but that doesn't sound. That sounds very much like a people get the government they deserve.
Well, the organization is a way called, that is a micro,
That is exactly what you're
yeah,
telling me there.
is it very, remember, Gary, remember talk about culture, it's the same culture can be divorced from what we talk about here, you know. Culture
I know.
is behavior, how we live, how we drink, that is how we is.
How we
You
eat,
understand?
how we dress, how we talk. Yeah, that's culture.
We elect a government and we expect Rowley to be a miracle worker. We mustn't change the attitude at all. So he said in Toco, the fellow who sits down there, as a matter of fact, we elected a costume. If you could guarantee you could take cost and disrespect, you is really leader. Anytime you have a different thought to ensure the thing goes a certain kind of way, you know you're up against it. You understand? The membership does not seem to understand. I would say this, that's your mantra all the time. They don't seem to understand that they have a responsibility. It's why the gap in the all the time to the nuisance of the chair and to some of my own members and them. Why am I only getting all the time? Because they have a meeting after the meeting. They meet after the meeting. In the meeting, they have nothing to say. You know why? Because they're concerned that if they put their hand up and Gary see their hand up, Gary go pick them so they're okay, I sing. So they ain't saying nothing. So when I come outside, me boy, you know you did right, but you know so. Why you put your hand?
That shows the state of the organization.
But that's what it is. Look, let me give an example. Imagine Watson Duke alone in PSA could I make all the action. We all remember the PSA. And they're all about telling the world how good Watson Duke take with money and he go out, Watson Duke do this. I say, but what? The last time I checked on democracy, one man doing all of that? And you know, we're so gullible. We behave in that we beating Watson too. We beating Watson too.
And it's time organization, boy.
Toco, well, before his demise, KDJ had a meeting considering the presidency at Toco. How does this what happened today and yesterday or Friday reflect on the very executive of the organization?
I understand that. I understand the question.
How it will reflect? You know what happened? Remember there was a quarrel about the man is not supposed to be the president.
Yeah, how you arrive at that? You just now. Were you privy to the Constitution? The arbit for the
Hammy, I see the hear me properly. I said before his demise, Kenny J had a press conference. I didn't wish to that. That wasn't me coming to that assumption. I said before his demise, Kenny J was in a press conference stated the man was not supposed to be the president. Okay.
Well, I responded to that. I can't wait for you. I preempted. I jump in here to tell you that.
Go ahead, jump.
Kenny J, all respect to him. That's my friend and my brother. All respect to him. Like a whole host of us outside there. Never read a page in the Bible yet, but quoting John chapter this and chapter that. Never read a page yet. No, and that's the fact of the matter. How much of them ask them if they know any part of the Constitution? They know anything? They have never done that. We just go on emotion, no. I emotional. I ain't like Dennis. The last time Dennis did make me get an anchor, and I can't to make.
You have to remember, Dennis different to you.
Hold on.
Dennis is a numbers person, so he is well calculated.
No. I'm using this as an example. I don't care
what well calculated.
I don't care about the competence. Listen to me. I couldn't give a damn about the competence. What I'm concerned about, last time he didn't pick me and I didn't get no anchor because Dennis didn't give me. And you see that as a make sure he didn't get the post. Based on that, we're very emotional.
Were you telling me that going on in Toco a long time? Then no. But that now? That going on a long time. So it says that the organization still needs purging.
It's national life is going on in. Because I'm voting for people who every day they don't represent me. Yeah, go, you come, but I'm voting for them still. you understand? So the problem we have at the organization level is what we have is embodied our life, our structure. That's how it is. That's why I just call a spade, and people know me for that, and some take me for that. You understand?
I drink my water already. I could come in.
All right, take them now. Take them, Dennis. Go ahead. Take them. I'm glad you have touched my defense. Go ahead.
Have you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
younger?
What year it was? I wasn't in auto negative. Army was chairman. We took a decision. Listen, the little money that we getting for carnival,
Yeah, get them.
let's the chant. When we singing basically for cheers because no Toco Classic Rooster now we are now trying to get a space to fight up to compete with review, Kaiso
Yeah.
House. I think there's another big tent in town, right? So we in the city were struggling to get a space in the marketplace. When we open night, we get a nice little crowd with a lot of complimentaries. And when we pay everybody the first week because that's government subvention. So you pay sure. So we are saying, listen, come as Wednesday morning when the money done because you're paying by the week. After that week, that is it. Let's save at least at 10% of the subvention and put it in a fund so that we can have shows out of the carnival so that we can prolong the longer, the life of the Kaisonian during the year. The executive met and we voted. We vote.
Yeah.
And the consensus was I think a 25% cut. Yeah, 25% cut.
Yeah.
What? Whoa, men want to assassinate we boy.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Not was we say across the board.
They charge me
Men
here.
want to kill we boy. And when we tell ourselves, well, that done, season done, it happened. The election was later on in the year. When we walk in the polling station, men say, boy, is it calling? Only want to cut man money, boy, Kaisonian money. And of course, they voted us out. And I learned my lesson, right? In this ISO world, right?
You're telling me?
The concept of business and man pocket, it doesn't make sense. They prefer to, eat everything now and the belly full, they rub it, carnival done, and we hungry and we running and we see trouble until it's over season, and we willing to go through that struggle and come again for next subvention. I was totally disappointed. When you hear Big Song Man singing on stage, and remembering Kaiso. Big song, social commentary, and the getting at the heart and the belly of the whale. And them same guys, man, them fellas, when they deal with it on a one-on-one, you want to cut my money, boy?
Yeah.
The government give you to pay me, you want to cut my money? I still feel it, our men still looking for my head, me and Hamid.
Why?
They're still looking for me because they're still minus.
Yeah.
And we vote all out for that. And I said, listen, I'm very proud. I am proud that I vote out because I took a business decision which I could live with.
That's right.
And which I could die with. And these guys still get the message.
Message.
And I said,
well said.
And that's the mentality that pervades across the board. You try to make a business decision and men mashing up to go and do a social, economic, not social, like a socio-cultural decision, which had nothing to do with dollars and cents and this and sustainability and this sort of thing. And to show the powers that be that we can survive without that. Because we did some financial packaging there that to take Toco, Kaiso House used to run in the mass camp right through the air. Because we make certain decisions that, listen, we're going to take a portion of the Kaiso House money and invest it in doing shows every week in the mass camp for the rest of the year. And whatever we make by the door, everybody get a small sum. You don't like to tell people how much they get, but people smile and they're happy and we live through the year. Right? And when come Carnival, we're able to be in a state of readiness. Even the government, because we run the tent for 3 weeks without getting government approval and subvention, because we decide we're going, we tell the Calypso, we have no budget, but this is the cast and this is what we're going with. And we're hoping that when we have Calypso Fiesta, that's the crown jewel of Toco, we'll get the money. Kaiso, we'll get $1 million there, but we could survive and pay back, And that was the model we were going with. But within that model, people, we get mashed up. Man. The last year they shut down. a certain zone, shut down the tent and say, boy, you know, you following all those are private sector management. If people ain't come by the gate, you can't survive. You gain a subvention, you shut down your tent.
Yeah.
And I say,
Yeah.
boy, that bad business decision, boy, man, cost him up to now. Well, but you say
Yeah.
can't manage. That's the point. And not manage. I say you had to know to manage in a context. A lot is managing in a context. He know where his funding coming from and a few sponsors, a little token from the state.
But
But you getting your pay from the
Dennis,
subvention, the purse. So you have to think differently and act differently.
Dennis,
And I have no apologies for that.
I too, but Dennis, thank you.
Boy, my
Done.
back hurting me. Right, we talking and my back still hurting me because I still getting licks.
Well,
God
I get stabbed.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I say, boy, you know, Lloyd Betts used to say sometimes, you know, people say you're operating on a high level, and Lloyd Betts used to say, listen, if you can't make the people come up to your level, don't go down to their level. You know?
Don't go down at all.
And I was shocked when he said that because I couldn't, I thought it was arrogance.
Yeah.
But it took me a couple of years, then I understand what Lloyd Betts was saying was arrogance.
Yeah.
He's telling you, listen, if this is your standard, and them
Stay
fellas
there.
standard on any day, don't go down to their
Don't go
standard.
down
Bring
there.
them up to your standard.
Yeah.
So all of we could be moving at a high standard. Don't go down there, right? You know. So
Yeah.
it's some of my
Well
thoughts
said,
on
no,
it.
you're right, Dennis. And I'm glad you say for Andrew to hear. You understand? Give more again. Let him drink water now. You look
Andre
for that,
hiding the mug, you know, you have a whole mug there hiding. A mug
You
of
know,
juice.
but in all seriousness, Dennis, I don't commend you for your contribution. But friends, it's not easy.
But,
You should try. Sorry, Andre, go ahead. Andre,
but
go ahead.
still,
Yeah.
where are we going from here? Because what is to take place? I know tonight would have been the prelims of the extempo. What
Yeah,
do you think is going to happen in terms of Cuba's participation in this whole Taster Carnival? Is it gonna continue or
Well, I don't know because I ain't getting meetings yet. I don't know if they get the money to come up to.
We're supposed to have a meeting today, right, sir?
Yeah. I
the
hear
meeting was going on up to news time. They were still in meeting.
Oh, you see. So
Well, I
I
don't know. I have a contact in Toco. So I mean, I know if you have your contacts.
yeah. Well, I ain't gonna. They contact me. They contact me.
Yeah, but no, Andre, in terms of going forward, the whole thing could be a mess now. I think if we could resolve the Taster Carnival, in the sense that I know Gypsy went out of the way and tried to make it happen, right? Toco, who sat on with Gypsy, although they might have a minority say in the meeting, but the point is, a decision is taken, so we should take collective responsibility
That's right.
to go forward.
That's right.
The competition, I really don't like competition because from my perspective, as sitting as a treasurer of Toco, I realize the competition is disadvantage the art form. Right? Some people might think otherwise. Because only 10 people inside there would benefit. Right? Really, in terms of real substantial sums, 10 people will benefit. And another 40 out of that will benefit from the Kaisos semifinals. Right? They get a little 7,000, you know, in the semifinals.
But then that's only one aspect of it, you know.
Yeah.
I very concerned about the human aspect of it.
I mean, let him finish.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that we have, especially this year, a good opportunity to say, listen, you see this competition is not advancing anybody economically. Right? It's like you're playing a lotto, right? So one man go win and he feels good and he get wrong and thing and that is it. What we can do is listen, we could have an enhanced, give everybody an enhanced performance fee and have a big show, one or two shows, or even the Masquerade show, and you select by what random, every Trinidad knows a good Kaiso that could go in that fight, right? So whatever method they use, you select a 10 Calypsonians, or, you know, and you give them an enhanced fee, and they give them a performance, let them get a nice package. If everybody could get 100, 50,000, 100 or whatever, and you give them an enhanced fee, let them perform, and you know, the 10 best calypsos for the year,
because we know we actually we must know the 10 Calypsonian, and we get a panel. You could have a objective panel with people in the music, people in the media, people in the industry, to know who are the 10 people there. You will still get cost, but the point is this is an opportunity to get away from the Calypso competition, because Bob Marley never win a crown in Jamaica to be the king of reggae, right? And you take it and you package it and you present a show for the world. Because at this stage, I know we have good Calypsos ready to take it to the world. Because some men ready since last year, right? I mean, I have a song from last year too, but you know, right? So we can have a package to take to the world, right? Men go say, boy, if we go to the semi-final, then I get 7,000. But look at it in the context of a reduced amount, right? You know, because everybody go say, well, I have a college, so I used to get something. But we have the tent. Men could get money in the tent. We could have the thing, and the zones could create something to make sure everybody get an enhanced fee, right? So that you share the thing among everybody rather than to give one man $1 million, and then the next one's crying and men depressed and men want to jump off cliff because they thought they had the best song for the year. And 2022, they feel that was the payday, and they make it. That could be suicidal. So until that taking the art form forward, now is an opportunity to scrap the competition and to have a show. If you could have a people's choice, and you know, and you're not cheapening monarchy. You have the show, you have a well presentation, men get a nice appearance fee, and they smile. And next year now, we could even up the price money now, and there's the real thing coming up next year when the COVID restriction. Right now, don't be tough. Let me try to compromise. I don't feel that after we consult, we go on vex. I feel that we should have reached a point as big as human beings, as big people, that we could have an understanding. Because we are family. No matter what we do, we are family, and we need to end the day in a loving way. Right? So that everybody who calls Kaisunan now, they say, yeah, boy, that for us the real sort of thing, and be proud of what we do. The media now go say for the first time in history that the Calypso fraternity has decided to hug each other in love and share the wealth rather than everybody grab a piece and run with it. Right? So, and they put a crown on their head and they feel good. Because the competition is the next thing again, but I would talk that on a different thing in terms of.
So who suggesting this to the executive, may I ask?
I suggest.
Well, I'm a member and I
you come up with that idea.
What Dennis say? I suggested that already. I suggested that to General Council.
No, I was going good all the time, but I got show you this thing. The Calypso monarch, look at it. Sometime the monarchy. I started reading things about that, and I feel I just want to show it out. Gary, you can follow it up. It was structured in such a way that the winner would not come against the administration. So you go sing a song for the administration. And if you talk about some of them Kaisonian used to sing soca and sing a nice jumpy song for the Dimasgra, then singing that again. They're singing a dirge or a drab. Why? Because they want to win that crown to satisfy them judges. And they feel that the judges tend to be in sync with the powers that be. Okay? No, there's a theory actually there. It could be wrong, but I haven't proven it. But it's something that we could look at.
We touch on that. We touch on that. We did touch on that when we say people sing songs to please the judges.
Lovely.
We did say that. Yeah, we touched on that.
Right, lovely.
We're singing song. You're singing Calypso again. You're singing a song to please the judge.
To please the judges.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And I was disappointed in some of my heroes in Calypso. I ain't calling no name tonight because they're still my hero. They changed the song to suit the Dimash judges' appetite. And the singing I said a drop, jab, jab song that, oh God, 10 of that for the night. No. Put that bounce in the thing, man. Put that thing. It's carnival, man. Don't tell me, oh, carnival is for them, so come in. Soca is Taiso. This is why you have the division. The soca men carrying the spirit of carnival. Yeah, the soca men carrying even Chocolate and Jennifer, Choki and all was in the mix. So when I say about Choki, I'm not saying that, but Choki was in the mix too. Up tempo, nice, whining low. Right? No Kaiso, you feel when you go Dimagra, you have to sing that kind of drab kind of thing, man. No,
Lamentation.
brother. Don't sing no lamentation for the
Lamentation.
judges.
Yeah.
Kaiso that struggle, a rebellious song, you know. You
Going
can't
forward,
sing a rebellious song and say blah 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 blah. No, right? It's humanity extent where you need that because people want to hear the lyrics and they want to think
That,
and sing. So you need
that is
that
why
space,
I like.
you know.
That's why I say I like Super Blue. Super Blue used to be on the stage for the March Grab watch it soca. What is social commentary, you know? So
Yes, that
he's still doing it,
believe it.
social commentary, but
Yeah,
you could jump and wave to it. I remember him
exactly.
coming out of a six base with a ball, playing football, all kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Super used to give
And
the best
good
presentation,
social commentary.
but always
Yeah.
eight, you know. Never more than eight, you know.
But that is it. And look at man, for instance, a man do a line in a Kaiso like Sierra Nival. That's a line, boy. Jump around, bum, 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 bum. And I just go say, how much marks you give for lyrics? Yeah, man, Guinea no marks for lyrics, boy. They want a man say, every year there's something called Carnival in the land of Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, Kaiso, everybody in the world should know that is the sweetest thing called Kaiso, right? Carnival, Carnival. Boom, bam, 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 dum.
You have a sentence without a verb, boy.
Oh, yes, the spirit. You can't have a sentence without a verb, brother.
Without a
You
verb,
know,
boy.
and you ain't get that. That's not a classic, brother. You hear in front of way. You a judge. I'm talking to the judges now. You ain't see that a classic, and you want to hear a man give you prose in a poetry competition. Because it was Gary, them fellas are right, and them fellas good at it. They're using
hey,
some big words and
Dennis,
some nice,
Dennis,
you know.
Dennis,
Yeah, Andre.
listen, Hami had a dissertation on that a little earlier, you know.
Who?
Hami,
Yeah,
Hami
when
did
they
a
say
whole
consist, no, no,
I'm
Dennis are
sorry, so
consistent.
bad, but
No, Dennis only reinforcing it. I'm glad that I listened with pride to him.
I had just telling them.
I'm here
Yeah.
infringing on the copyright there.
No. I'm glad that you're reinforcing it because
Yeah,
we need
but,
that kind of consistency to show them outside there. You understand?
yeah.
Before the thing is getting this thing.
So,
Hear
what do you think about the format
hear my
of
line.
the Demarca show?
Hear my
Hami
line, Dennis.
and Dennis and Gary.
What
All
you
right,
just said?
going forward, one round, your social commentary, and the second round, a soca, a
Spirit of
groovy
Carnival,
or
yeah.
No. Let me take. Dennis, drink some water by the time I take this one.
Yeah, let me drink some water.
Yeah.
You
For
were
starters,
drunk, man.
yeah. Take some water, Dennis. You come back when you're ready and don't drink. For starters, I
yeah.
am saying
Go ahead.
Kaiso have two categories: social and political. End of story.
Mm.
The style of calypso could be a humor or a satire, as you might want to call it. But all these variations they've added to me, Kaiso is not as either social or political or slash social political because even political is also social. So if you get Kaiso category at all to me, it has two categories. Is why you can make the point that Super Blue saying you can't make a sentence without a verse. That's a social commentary in the style of a party. Chogras, some see a land is a social commentary in the dirge formation. You understand? One sticker matches is a humor, but it's a social commentary in the style of a humor. Understand? So all
You had to
you see,
bring humor in that. Yeah.
we're very divisive as a people. That's how we are. So we divide things all the time. I am saying Kaiso, humor no category there. Let me make my point more straight there. Humor is not a category. Humor is a style of calypso. The Kaiso is either social or political.
A humorous calypso.
Yes. It's a
It is
style.
a humorous calypso.
It's a humorous calypso. It's not a category. It's a humorous style. That is my take. And to go
Yeah,
back on,
because
Dennis, sorry, go ahead, Dennis, go ahead.
like
Because
I just adding their point. Cypher made a final with with his style
if
of
the pitch to
calypso.
play who
Humor.
was we, if the pitch is a
Yeah.
social commentary
Yeah.
in
So
a
yeah.
humorous, the humorous style.
Mhm.
If you listen to it, he take the issue with the priest man when they're playing mass. It's a
Yeah.
social
Father
commentary.
Sewell. Yeah.
Father
Yeah.
Sewell. I
Yeah.
could have taken that, bring it in a dirge and tell you how Sewell come from Ireland
Mhm.
and how he
Yeah.
mother father and bring it in a dirge. But he take a
Right.
humorous
Yeah.
style to it.
Mhm.
So humor in no category, party in no category. Party is a style of calypso.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So, based on what you said there, all right. So if we have the party style song in one round and the dirge in the other round, would that make a difference in on that stage on
No,
that
we
night and
talking. Listen, we talking.
and bring people to come and see the show that end?
I ain't
That
like
is
you
good.
doing it. I'm saying your either is a social or you're political. And if you check put a political and social, it's like sanity and insanity. It's a little line that you're crossing that is demarcating both of them. Maybe understand that. You understand? It's
And
either
they
you
both can come in a party style.
that's the whole point about it. The same calypso that also is in a social stand. Take line excuse. It's a social commentary. But it's a humorous style.
Mhm.
You understand? We pass that stage, or even what is Divine big song?
Capital is gone wild.
Or
Sparrow
wherever it
fast
is.
up temple.
Or
Yeah.
wherever it is.
Capital is gone
Or the
wild.
bigger one by King, Austin, with name again.
Progress.
Progress
Yeah.
is a social commentary. You understand? And take that same progress and make that same progress, that same topic, and make it in a humorous style. It's not a category. Kaiso has two categories. Is that it's a political or it is social.
So all have plenty
Right,
work to do then.
No, well, it's for the public. It's how we thinking about it. They tend to divide you all the time. Dennis have a song that we sing. He talking about the African rhythm and all kind of thing. It's a social commentary making it, but in the party style. It is not a category. We have to answer all the questions too.
Mhm.
Anyways, gentlemen, we at 9:20, 10:22, so we gotta wrap up now. So each one of you all could get a 2.5 minutes and
Like plenty time you gave me this still, man.
No, but I want to encore thing, you know. The whole that encore you're talking about, you know. Me taking the encore.
2.5 the whole song where Andre.
You didn't write any answer.
How me walking away from the encore, boy?
Yes.
How me walking the dressing room and then come?
Dennis, I just do that. And then, again, I go back to culture, how things used to be. Uncle long time was a man across the road from Seaman Waterfront, touch the wall, and then walk back in the hall. Or go by the bar, order a drink. Now, you know what happened? We at the got so short. My other measure under the stage, and the crowd clap twice. They fly back and take an encore.
The Freddie order changed the mind, boy.
that's your final words there?
You know what? I want to thank you very much, Dennis. You are all responsible for this event forum. Honestly appreciative and thing. Yeah, I want to commend all the presenters, Dennis and I see my neighbor, we name Joseph Adam. And Afroman, thank you all for inviting me very much. I'm very pleased to share this panel with Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, man. This is Andre, thanks for
I mean, I'm still let talk about the song here, the whole.
Yeah, well, you're in a hole right now.
Here's somebody else. Anyways, Dennis, thanks for your question.
I mean, that's how that whole last song like experience.
Yeah.
Personal experience. I go say more.
Thanks.
Yeah, Andre, let me utilize my 2 minutes quick. Andre, thanks for coordinating, convening this nice discussion
Yeah, man.
tonight. You know, you really give us a time to exhale and to share each other's thought, you know. I really
Yeah.
get, you know, I learn from Gary and Ami. You know, I was hearing Joseph Adam earlier one day making some very strong points earlier one day. Sorry, my internet gave me some issues, but you know, we here, right? So
Yeah.
thanks for this program. It really give an opportunity to exhale because we under COVID too, eh? So
Yeah.
people we stress too. We all stress because
That
we want a
exhale, boy,
carnival.
that
You know?
exhale, yeah.
Yeah, we want the carnival, but I would say let me do it in a proper way. You know, we all make mistakes, and let's
That's
try to
right.
cover those mistakes and look good in the public eyes.
That's right.
Because I like my chairman Gypsy Kaisonen to look good. I like the president at Toco, the acting president, to look good also because my organization is carrying it.
That's
So
right.
we hope that these guys could compromise, meet a point of compromise, and let the thing happen.
Yeah, man.
Right? And those who won the $1 million for prizes, no, it can't happen this year.
Wait for
Understand
next
me,
year.
follow
Wait for
me.
next year. Wait for next year.
Yeah, let me wait for next year because I think
Listen,
the oil
next,
price had a bubble. Eh?
next Royal Carnival is 2024.
Yeah, the oil price had a bubble from what I see here, and I hear we finding oil too.
Andre,
We drilling and
Andre,
finding oil, right? So
Andre,
that's my
you hearing that
contribution.
there?
What's that?
You hear what Sana said there? The oil price started to bubble.
Let me just give Dennis this before you continue. Dennis, how much is the oil price now?
The oil
Dennis?
price was I think it crossed 60 something, you know. Someday it reached 90. It reached a 90 sometime
What
last
are you
week.
talking
And
about?
it crossed
What are you
60
talking about?
something.
All right, good. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking
And
good.
how much are 10 a pan?
A tenapan?
Yeah.
We'll go, Sanjay. The last time
5,000.
about
5,000.
5,000, about 5,000. Right? Right. So, you know, well, there's another point we have to look at it. There's a factory in the USA promoting pan, and they're claiming to be the pan factory of the world.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
Everybody claiming.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Gary, tell him
That's
about that $100 and that
No, no,
$5,000.
no. Well, I'm glad to hear him talk about the $100, the oil raising again. But that's what inside the barrel, outside the barrel is 5,000. I don't understand him much at all. Outside the barrel is 5,000, inside the barrel is 100. And only running it up still. Time to change. Time to change the
Boy,
attitude.
Gary, I like that point you raised there because it tells us a lot about the culture.
Bottom of the barrel, according to
pan,
which was Blackie said that last week. The bottom of the barrel is $5,000. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we
Inside the
fighting
barrel.
for what on the inside at 100?
Inside the barrel, boy.
The importance of culture, Dennis, and
somewhere
Hamid.
along the line, you mentioned a subvention, Toco annual subvention is around 30 million?
No. Toco annual subvention around between 8 and 10 million. It fluctuates.
8 or 10?
8 to 10 million, yes.
Panchin Bingo subvention is normally about the 30. Sorry, I think that's where that comes from.
Panchin Bingo is about 20 something, 23,000 something. So it could be
20 million.
Million or 10,000 million.
I'll tell you why I'm saying this now, because in a Tesa Carnival, nobody getting that kind of money. Nobody getting that kind of money.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to go into Tesa Carnival knowing fully well this cannot be the final prize for the rest of the life, according to what Andre said or what Tani said. This year was not supposed to bind us to anything because this year we wasn't even sure. And as they say, it's a taste.
Up to January.
As they say, it's a taste. So the price structure for this year should have never been or would not be referred to from next year or from the 24th, according to Andre. You understand? Never.
Yeah.
This government subvention to the NTC is only 150 million. They're not seeing that somebody come up with 30 million.
No,
We have
she's
seen that the conductor
commission
25.
150 million over the years. Yeah.
So we ain't seen that kind of money this year. Remember, this is just a taste or something because according
Exactly.
to you, we have to exhale. If we
Yeah,
don't
it's
exhale, we will
catharsis,
die.
as they say.
Yeah.
If we don't exhale, we will die. I'm telling
Exactly.
you. How long you gonna hold your breath for?
Exactly.
So we have to
Yeah.
exhale. So what I'm saying, we should never look at 2022 as a benchmark for we price moving forward. We price money moving
Exactly.
forward.
Yeah. Well
And that's
spoken.
my story. That's my
Well
story.
said.
There.
Well
I
said.
agree with you.
And while on the floor, let me say thank you very much to Hamidullah, to Lasana, to Mr. Joseph Adams. Who else was there? Nobody. And
Ras was supposed to come in, but he didn't. He didn't get it. So we thank each and every one of you for joining us, and of course we're gonna continue this conversation because it has plenty things to fix in culture in
You
Trinidad and
do.
Tobago.
Yeah.
We need to stop sleeping. We need to stop
Happy
sleeping.
Valentine's
Try to
Day.
get rid of it. Sorry, let's take it home.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Be safe. Be
Okay, brother.
blessed. Take
All
care.
right, Dennis. Thanks
Yeah, take
again.
care.
Good
Be
evening.
blessed.
Yeah, man. All
Don't
right.
forget.
So,
And don't forget this Saturday morning here on Radio Toco, and every Saturday morning you can listen to Global Soca with Eric St. Bernard from 7 to 11. Okay, so look out for that this coming uh, Saturday. Granny,
Yeah, man.
have a great evening and God bless you and your family.